Hello everyone, I hope you're all having a nice day. So really long story short to start this video off, but this video was filmed back in April and unfortunately I've only just come to edit it now, and some of the opening dialogue and clips that I filmed were corrupted on the SD card that I was using, so I couldn't use them. So I'm filming a new intro to this now. So this video, as I say, was filmed back in April. The basic premise of this video was to try and take an old bike and see if I could do new tricks with it, essentially using the thing. It's been done a bunch of times on other people's channels where they've got free bikes or cheap bikes and they've tried to repurpose them for whatever specialist discipline that they do. I actually genuinely wanted to do this for a really good reason, because a lot of people do say to me, can you go and do this on a regular bicycle? And I think the answer is yes, because that's where I started as well. But basically, this video might seem a little bit disjointed because the actual interview bits that I did with myself, the pieces to camera, some of them were corrupted a bit, but some of them were good enough that I could still use them. Me from the past is going to start off by basically explaining the reasons why I chose this specific bike of all the ones that I saw on Marketplace. But basically, I bought a Specialized Hardrock on Marketplace for about £70 and decided to try and see if I could ride trials on it. One of the reasons that I picked this bike especially was because most of the parts looked like they were compatible with other kind of parts as well, so the head tube especially, and I'll explain all of that in a little bit. But there's going to be more videos in this series. I'll explain more about that later on. I do want to say this is one of the most fun videos I've made and I can't wait to get back out on that bike again. But literally, I filmed this video and then 3 days later I went into hospital with appendicitis. So everything kind of got put on pause. But if you're interested in getting into trials and you don't think you want to splash out loads of money on an expensive bike, this is the video which basically says you can have a load of fun on just a normal bike. Thank you to everyone who's subscribed, and I will see you guys, well, me from the past will see you in just a few moments time, but I will see you guys for the next video, which will be released next week with hopefully some more alterations to this bike. Thanks again, stay safe, ride your bikes and have fun. So firstly, it's got a standard 1.1" headset, stem and steerer tube, so most of the other forks out there will fit it quite nicely and stuff. It's got a standard bottom bracket, it's got Truvative cranks, it's got decent V-brakes on it, it's got some nice parts generally hanging off it. Even the pedals, even though they're basic ones, are actually made of metal rather than plastic, which is what you'd usually expect to see on a relatively budget bike like this. Now what I've done, just to start with, is I've basically taken everything relatively surplus off the bike using really basic tools. In fact, I think I used two tools. I used a screwdriver and I used an Allen key, and I removed the mud guards, the reflectors, I lowered the seat, I moved the bars a bit. All I did was tweak it. I literally have spent no money on it whatsoever apart from the 70 quid that I spent on it to start with. And that's going to be the genesis of this first video, is basically saying I've just bought a bike and I'm going to see what I can do on it. Now, I've already had a roll around the car park and two things are very apparent about this bike. One, you know, it's a nice bike, it's all right, but there is absolutely no way in hell that I am going to trust that rear brake, because it'll stop me like on a road coming up to a junction or something, but it's not going to save my life if I try and do a back hop on it or anything, so that's not happening. And also the rear hub appears to have about 4 engagement points, which, if you don't know what that means, my freewheel has about 118, so yeah, there's a big gap between each pedal kick. But I'm up here, I'm going to have a little hop around and see if I can actually do anything on the bike, and we'll go from there. So let's see what happens. So I've been rolling around up here for about an hour now, and I know I say this every time I get on a different bike, but I am just having the most fun. Like, this bike is, I don't know how old that bike is. It's got to be at least 10 years, if not older. It cost me less than a day's wages, and I've just been bashing on it. The back brake doesn't work. The rear engagements in the rear hub are just non-existent. The chain has fallen off more than once, but it's so much fun. And I'm like, what I'm doing right now is trials like as it was back in the 80s and 90s. There was no back hopping, there was no like going to back wheel or anything, because the brakes just weren't good enough. So I've just been rolling up and rolling down everything, and it's been so much fun. So yeah, I'm gonna see. There's another bit of, there's some gun emplacements just down there, so I'm going to pop down there and have a little ride on those, see if I can do anything slightly more streety, because I've obviously been playing on lots of natural stuff. And I'm also conscious of being up here because this is actually where I broke my leg in 2010, 13 years ago, on one of those rocks over there. And yeah, I'm actually here on my own. Well, there's a security guard in there, so if I shout, he'll come and help me. But I don't want to do that, so yeah, I'm going to quit while I'm ahead, go down to where the gun emplacements are, see if I can have a hop around there, and then that might be it for the day. So let's see how this goes. So I mean, that's about all I've really got time for tonight, but like, again, I've just had so much fun playing on these little things down here. Got these just little, I don't know, bollard things that I was amazed that I could just side hop with some real precision onto it on a bike that is the engagement points in the rear hub and the rear brake. Again, they're just terrible, but this is like, these are lines that would have been in trials films like years ago. These would have been in like, you know, tricks and stunts and chain spotting and dirt and stuff like that way back in the day, and the guys would have been riding bikes pretty much just like these ones. So it's really, as I get older and the more that I like find that year on year I'm not even getting like 1 inch bigger on side hops or anything like that on the like current competition kind of bikes that I'm riding, it's so refreshing to just go out on a bicycle like this and ride how the guys really way back in the day before I even started riding would have ridden on stuff. And it's just, it's so much fun. So if you've been riding trials for a long time and you want something different, I like go on Facebook Marketplace and just find a bike like this and go and see what you can do. It's so much fun. I'd love to see any of the other guys that do vlogs like Ali C or George Thompson or anyone else who rides trials regularly. Go and get one of these old bikes and see what you can do. Let's have a game of bike on like old junkers like these and see what kind of fun things we can get up to. Because I mean, I haven't even really taken this to the barn yet, where there's like all different kinds of height things that I can try and see how high I can actually pedal up onto something, because I'm fairly limited by what I could get to this evening and what I could find and ride on. But I was pleasantly surprised that I could like side hop these things quite comfortably. you know, considering this is like a 14-15 inch frame, and it's just a like old bike. But I mean, I've just had so much fun with it. So that's my first video riding the Specialized with just literally, I haven't changed anything on it at all. I was almost tempted to go and grind the rear rims so I just get some kind of performance braking out of it, but I've literally just gone for a ride and I've had such a fun evening. And I mean, you could go anywhere and go to any riding spots on something like this and have a hop around. I'd love to see what I could get up to if I went up onto the moors or something, or went to the barn and stuff, but I think I've got a limited amount of time with this bike anyway. All the bikes that I've got are just taking up space in the garage, so the next video that I'm gonna do is I'm basically gonna spend a little bit of money. I'm gonna give myself a small budget, like £100, to see if I can upgrade this bike to get some better parts on it, to make it just run a little bit better, and probably use some more modern techniques. I'm probably going to grind the rims and do some other bits and bobs to see if I can improve it in some way. And then the third video, I'm going to put like basically all the parts from the Giant on it, a complete rebuild, so it'll pretty much be just the frame left, but with really modern components, and then see how that goes as well, because that would be the natural progression. I think you'd get a bike like this. Well, this is what I did 25 years ago when I first started riding trials on my Trek 6000. I got a bike like this and I upgraded parts and stuff and developed and moved on, and then I sort of upgraded a few more bits, and then I got like even better stuff, and then I got a whole better bike. So this is a really fun way of showing you guys what the progression was like for me and so many of the other riders as well. If you've liked this video, please do go and subscribe, share it, like it, let me know what else you'd like to see me ride on, and yeah, thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Cheers now.